Hello there, Scott again. Well, another raw recipe video winging your way. This is an avocado cucumber compress with mushroom medallions that you did in a previous video and a wasabi nut sauce. Really nice. Now, this particular recipe is all about embellishing the tastes of really simple vegetables. And all we're going to need is a cucumber. This is a Lebanese cucumber and an avocado, some chives for colouring and a little bit of flavouring. A quarter of a red onion, some lime juice, apple cider vinegar, and a dash of oil. Now the nut sauce, by the way, we're actually going to be using the nut sauce from a previous video and just embellishing a little bit. Now all of this is about using simple ingredients, really simple ingredients, to make something absolutely smashing. So let's make a start, and let's make a beginning right now with the cucumber. Now we're going to compress this onto a serving plate with one of my food forms, and you can use a bit of PVC piping. And by the way, you don't have to do this all the time. You can actually just put it in a salad and mix it together if you so desire. I mean, it's as simple as that. The idea being that food presentation is, for me, one of the most important aspects of the raw food lifestyle that I lead. It's sort of like honouring myself and essentially making everything that I do a state of reverence, really, and respect for the food that I'm eating. This food, after all, is going into my body, and my body is a temple. I look after it. I therefore want to make sure that anything I put into it is life-sustaining. All right, it's actually going to promote life rather than promote a fast death. I saw an image on Facebook recently of a Gaulish-looking woman, and there was somebody made a comment and said, "This is what you look like after you eat lots of fast food." They did mention a prominent hamburger chain, but I won't mention that here. You know who they are, of Scottish origin. So we're just dicing up this cucumber, very simple, putting it into a bowl here, and then we're going to add some cucumber to it. And, sorry, some onion. We've already done the cucumber, haven't we? Just a quarter onion. Don't need a hell of a lot because it makes the world of difference, really, to the cucumber very quickly, this sweet red onion. Alright, I'll just use this one, it's a bit easier. And again, we want to keep the pieces small enough because we want the whole thing to work in the compress as neatly as possible. And there we go. Now, no seasoning at this particular stage except some pepper. You know the old story about the salt, basically releasing all the water from the vegetable. And we'll add some lime. There's something about the smell of pepper that just reminds me of something very ancient. It's beautiful. Really lovely. Funny how at the moment I've got lots of lime halves floating around the refrigerator, so I'm using them all up. Okay, now you can add anything hot to this if you want. You can add some pickled jalapeno, you can add some gherkin, you can add anything that basically you want to embellish it, because the cucumber will actually pick up everything brilliantly. You can add some chili. I don't need to do that tonight, so we'll just let that sit for a few moments. Now, there are no implements other than knives and a board required for this particular exercise. There's no bullets, there's no Vitamix, there's nothing like that. So put that aside. Okay, now let's just get into this avocado. Now, it's nice to have a reasonably firm but ripe avocado. So this is firm and ripe, and we're just going to basically squeeze all that out. We don't need to have anything uniform and defined because we're going to mash it up anyway. And I suspect that we're only going to need, I'll do the whole lot because I've always got lunch tomorrow. Just pop that out. And again, the avocado is just fabulous. There we go. The body needs fats. Your avocado and nuts provide your body an opportunity to integrate fats without any difficulties at all. I love them. I mean, I grew up in New Zealand basically eating avocados as a child. They They only made an appearance, that's just the bud which I'll remove, in the 60s in New Zealand. They're an exotic fruit without doubt. Okay, now all we're going to do is just mash this avocado up. I'm not going to put it in the blender, as I said, because you don't want a cream. You want something basically that's reasonably firm and chunky, basically to stack into the compress, into the food form. All right, and we're only going to season this. Don't need to do anything else to it. An avocado is a complete food. It's just fabulous. Its health-giving qualities are amazing. So that's basically it. I haven't overdone that. You can still see the chunkiness of it there. And I'll just add a few chives to that. Again, doesn't need a lot because we've got onions in the other thing. But just a few chives. A little squeeze. Doesn't need a lot of lime. And a lot of this is about preserving it basically for the next day, because the lime juice basically acts as a preservative, a natural preservative. And this we can add a little salt to, because this is more of an oil-based rather than a water-based vegetable or fruit. Vegetable or fruit? That's the big question. Avocado pear, is it a vegetable or fruit? I honestly feel it's a fruit. Grows on a pear tree. Okay, now the other thing that we can actually do is just a dash of apple cider vinegar. Now that this has been sitting for a few moments over here, this is the cucumber and onion, just a dash, and that offsets everything beautifully in that. Now those are the two key ingredients prepared. Okay, there's nothing else to do to those. Now we just go straight up into the plating up section of this particular video. But before we do that, what I'd like to do is actually just make up a little cream. And I'm going to just use a plastic container. Well, actually I've already got this little container here. A little container for the nut cream. And taking some of the nut sauce that I prepared in an earlier video. Don't need a lot. Just put that in there and add a bit of the original nut cream from the milk. And just stir all that in. And I'm going to add some wasabi to this as well. Now the wasabi is really interesting. You can buy raw wasabi root, as you can buy horseradish root. So we're looking for some horseradish the other day, and yes, you can get it. But if you can't buy it anywhere, the stuff dried is okay. Just add water to it and mix it up. And failing that, you can use the stuff out of the tube. The big issue though, of course, is that most of the tube stuff has got preservative in it. And just blend that in. So this is going to be delicious, this little thing. Now again, here is a typical example of how you can use really simple ingredients and bring the flavors up in them. Oh, that's delicious. Wow. Just delicious. Do you know what? I'm going to put a little bit more of that wasabi in. I do like a bit of do like a bit of a kick. Now wasabi, like chili, can be very hot, but we're going to be blending it with a few bits and pieces there. So that's the sauce done, and that will do fine. Now we're going to just work on getting this organized. First thing we want down is a nice firm base. So the idea is to use a spoon rather than a fork. You'll find it so much easier. And the avocado is a nice firm base, so we get that down first. Now this is not going to be a particularly big stack, but we just smear that around the bottom, get that nice and compressed, and that's good. And that's our bottom organized, which is excellent. And now we're going to put a little bit of this in and just pour the liquid off so that you've actually got more dry cucumber and onion at the top here. And Oh, my mouth is... I'm salivating again. Cannot believe it. Beautiful. And again, you know, this whole idea of getting a bit of PVC piping or a bit of plastic piping is a really great one. I shared it from somebody else who actually shared it with me on one of my live stream crosses. Okie doke. Now we put a layer of avocado on the top. And put that around. Okie doke. Now for the moment of truth. We just gently remove this. Bingo. Oh, what a beauty. Absolute beauty. We're going to put a little bit of the nut sauce with the wasabi on one end here. And on the other end, some mushroom medallions. Now remember the mushroom medallions that we did in another video? They go across the other end here. And I'll put 3 of those in. You probably only need 2 of them. Remember, this is quite a big meal for an individual. Interestingly enough. Bit of greenery here. And that's fab. And we will just give it a little bit of oil, just to give it a little bit of a colour, and my usual fried. And I'm actually going to give this a little bit of a treat. I'm going to get these in the top so that they look a bit whispery. I'll just use the knife to do that. And that sort of finishes it up beautifully. And that's it. That is the avocado cucumber compress with mushroom medallions and wasabi sauce. And it's absolutely stupendous, ready to go, and absolutely tasty. Don't forget the pictures at the top and the bottom of the video, at the start and at the end. Enjoy this. The PDF is right there to download. Enjoy it immensely. And until the next video, I'm Scott. Be well. Cheers.